Hi, I'm Sainad Mangara. What's the US elections got to do with India or any other part of the world? Well, let's look at it carefully. It's got everything to do with the world and has a great impact on almost everybody in the world. Well, the reason is very simple. America is the largest economy in the world, and many of its policies are international. All right, here's why American president can influence a lot of things in a lot of places. He's the most powerful man in the world. Man or woman, depends on who gets elected, but I think it's going to be the man. Well, simply because Donald Trump is very clear, very articulate, and is aggressive. And being aggressive is not a bad thing. People who are wishy-washy and not sure about what they're going to do or are not very clear on their intentions. Those are the people who would be soft, who would try to please others. Donald Trump doesn't have to please anybody. He's just there to do the job. And I think a lot of people don't like him simply because he's being outspoken. He speaks the truth. That's not easy to find these days because I haven't seen a politician like that. I've never seen a person, never heard a person speak openly, speak the truth, speak his mind, and not be afraid about the consequences or what anybody thinks of him. He doesn't even care about what the voters think of him because he's so sure about his policies that they are good for not only America but for the rest of the world. And I totally agree with him. A person who's that intelligent, who's down to earth, who knows and talks about issues that affect everybody, we've been let down for a long time by not just American presidents, but local political leaders in almost every part of the world. They just lie, and lie again. And all they do is make tall promises and don't deliver much. Now, Donald Trump's going to be different because his focus on ending terrorism. Now, there could be a lot of other domestic issues such as the Second Amendment and also gun laws in the United States. While it's not for me to comment on them, I certainly support the fact that America is believed in liberty and self-defense, and guns are a great way to ensure that people are polite to you and you can defend yourself, especially in the light of so many attacks out there, so many shootings. Well, that's an internal affair, but overall, for the rest of the world, I think a person who could run a successful business and who is pretty clear on so many other things, who doesn't take out loans to support his election campaign, is certainly going to do a great job with the economy and the policies in general. A person who wants to go after economic success and improve the lives of so many people, he's definitely going to do good. While a lot of people do not like him for the fact that he speaks his mind, he speaks on behalf of a lot of ordinary people who feel the same way about almost everything that he spoke on. Now, he's not going to mince words and try to please some certain communities or certain races or certain religious groups, and I think that is great because it's good for the world. It's as simple as that. Two most important issues when we talk about the next US president would be immigration and also world peace. Now, these are important because immigration stirs up a lot of passions and emotions, especially among those who've entered and lived in the United States and may not be entirely legal. Well, while he said a lot about Mexicans and other Latin Americans entering the US, he's also hinted at H-1B visas. Now, these visas are, according to him, a violation and a loophole in the immigration policy of the United States. They do favor low-cost workers from India. 2/3 of the H-1B program is used by Indians. And also the J-1 visa, where he points out that a lot of them enjoy the Social Security and other benefits, welfare benefits that the United States offers. Well, that's going to be cut down on. He did not mention that he's going to cut down on the H-1B program, but he did say that the minimum wage got to go up. Well, that is good news for Indians. The industry must look at it in a positive light because it's going to improve the quality of life for many H-1B visa holders and root out the fake workers and those who pretend to have the special skills. It's also good for Americans because more and more Americans would find work in the electronics and software industries. While it's true that many Indians view this as a problem because they fear that a lot of these H-1B visas may become more difficult to obtain. While there's good and bad in here, the bad is that the numbers may go down, but the good is the quality of workforce would improve, and therefore it's actually good for the industry, and we should look at it that way. Trump himself is not against India, or at least that's not what he says. And he's so pro-India that he himself has invested in many properties within India. So therefore, he's good news for India. Either ways, we should stop perceiving Donald Trump's policies and his aggressive speeches with what he's really going to do in international relations. Foreign policy is going to be his strong point, and I strongly believe that he is going to make the world a more peaceful place because he's pretty clear on what he's going to do to solve some of the problems and clear some of the confusions and stop some confrontations which are meaningless. While I'm not going to comment on the political agenda and the Middle Eastern affairs, it's important to mention that those affairs affect everybody in the world. So it's important to see a strong president who would work towards world peace and eliminate terrorism. And he's somebody who cannot be influenced by the so-called establishment. Now, one of the theories that I have here is that previous U.S. presidents have, for some strange reasons, gone with repressive regimes. They've interfered, and they've also tried to project a moral higher ground. However, Trump's very different because I don't think he can be influenced by any temptations, either financial or otherwise. He's a person who's going to set the agenda and bring peace to the world. So I hope that he wins. I surely feel that the world would be a better place if Trump was the president. And as for Indians, I think our fear is baseless. There have been a lot of reports in the media, especially in regional media in India, saying that if Trump becomes president, then there would be a lesser number of Indians being able to get visas to the U.S. Well, that's true. You can already see that happening under Obama presidency. Recently, hundreds of students from southern states who went to the U.S. on a U.S. education visa were denied entry. Some of them complained that they were not given reasons. Well, the fact of the matter is that I think the U.S. immigration is getting wiser by the day, and they understand that a lot of these so-called students may not actually be students. They're going there just for the extra buck. And while they'll never admit it, it's absolutely true. Simply because you would see a lot of students go get a U.S. visa in India, especially from southern states like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. A lot of them see that as a ticket to a better life. While that is true, I mean, America is a dream for many people in the world. It's also a fact that many of these students are not really qualified. Some of them lack communication skills, some of them lack basic integrity, while many of them also work illegally or overstay. So that's why a lot of these policies have changed, and the way people view some Indian students has also changed. While that's not true for all Indian students. It's only true for some of them. Many of them are really good geniuses who can contribute majorly to the world economy, not just the US and India. So therefore, overall, if a person has good intentions and has integrity and is also looking to contribute positively to the world, I think they should be happy with the Trump presidency. Well, that's all I gotta say. This is my personal opinion, and I strongly believe that Donald Trump presidency is going to be a great one. And I look forward to that day. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.